Hello, this is Quentin Jackson. I am sharing with you our presentation and workflow for our Advocating for Equity project here at Alverno. It is part of our ADD A39 course with Professor Vanessa Hintz. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. So we're calling our project Advocating for Equity, Communicating Truth for an Inside-Out World. We're doing this project through our consulting firm, Meridian Global Education, and we started that in 2007 when we were located in Evanston, Illinois. We are looking forward to our 20th anniversary in 2027. Right now we have around 10,000 friends associated with us. We're hoping to reach in a few short years over 100,000 people worldwide, and we have friends and partners worldwide currently, but we're looking to 5 or 10 times that number in about 4 or 5 years. We're going to do this through our group called the Meridian Communications Group. We currently operate Meridian Business Science Center, and we have a website for them, and you can look at that at any time. We established the Science Center in 2017, a few short years ago. We also established a special college, College of Leadership. That's primarily what we focus on is leadership training, and we do have a very strong spiritual component to it, so it really represents our core values. In 2019, just a couple years ago, we established another division of our consulting firm called Meridian Communications Group. And that's how we reach out to our friends and partners and other people in our general audience through our social media sites and our websites to inform them of what we're thinking about. We are working currently at the grassroots level, and we're so happy that people are appreciative of what we do, and we want to continue doing that, adding advocacy for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have a couple examples for you to just sort of browse through right now. If you're looking for more detail, most of the things that we publish are part of what we call our micro media posts, and we put them on our social media sites, and of course these are also embedded in our websites, and they're brief, 5-10 minute video clips from outside parties and some of the things that we also create. We want to use that going forward through our Meridian Communications Group to advocate for equity. And as you can see, there's a timeline on the left side of your screen. You can see from 2007 into the future, and we try to keep track of that. In 2020, when there was a lot of political unrest in our country, we kept track of that and posted commentary on that through our micro media posts on our various social media sites. So we're definitely involved in advocating for justice in our world, and we have been doing that for a while now, and we want to continue to do that. We want to make sure that we have a very clear advocacy objective, and that is right now for us to identify and enlist specific audiences who will subscribe to our multimedia channels to listen to and propagate some of the things that we're thinking about when it comes to equity in our world. Right now, our communications group is focusing on what we are doing through Facebook, our YouTube channels, and e-publishing. That's one of our big kickoffs in the last 2 years. And we also want to make sure that we enlist more and more people into our College of Leadership. We want to talk a little bit about some of the scope and rationale of what we're doing. So I want to talk about some of the foundational issues around our scope and rationale. So we call it advocating for equity, also the quest for the common good. We believe that equity is really the product of equal access to global resources and equal development of knowledge and skills. The scope and rationale includes these foundational ideas: that we want to make sure that our outreach outlets continue to be the internet, the World Wide Web, of course, that's what it really is, our video channels, podcasts, the micromedia publishing efforts that we're doing, and then through this course we've learned that we really want to build ally workshops. And those, all 5 of those things will help us promote what we call social economic realities for the people who are usually disenfranchised in our world. One of the key pieces that we want to advocate in using is Robert Reich's book, The Common Good. Okay, that's our recommended reading, and it has a lot of good ideas about what it means to live in a world full of equality and equity. We also work with material that comes from the World Economic Forum, particularly the Global Reset that's being published right now by the World Economic Forum. I think it really aligns with what we're thinking about in terms of equity. We work with Dr. Kevin de la Plante and his postings and YouTube channel on tribalism, and the Discovery Channel's new broadcast on why we hate. I am basically an international business economist by training. My academic background is that, and so you'll hear a lot of what we do has to do with international business economics, and so I will recommend books that are part of that thinking. And you can see 2 of those books here by an Indian Nobel Economics Prize winner, talking about that development is freedom, and then another book by an African economist and his thoughts on how freedom can be acquired through economic development. One of the things we really want to do is be able to make sure that we do multimedia. So we welcome you to our YouTube channels, our podcasts, so that we can do advocacy work. This is sort of new to us, but we really want to get engaged in that. And briefly, I'll take you through what our workflow looks like. Okay, it looks complex, but it's pretty straightforward. We want to build and strengthen our relationship with our current partners, and we want to do 2 offshoots from that. We want to be able to cast the vision, sort of actually build up our vision for what we want to do through our communications group, particularly as it pertains to work advocacy for the disenfranchised in our world. And we really want to work with our partners to give us some sense of what they think we could be doing in 5 or 10 years. We want to be confirmed with our immediate group who we will be working with in those next 5 or 10 years. And you can see that we have 3 major groups that we want to work with, and those are international economics educators, entrepreneurs, and other scholars and community leaders that are committed to advocacy work. We also want to tap into the World Economic Forum, as we said before, Dr. de la Plante and the Discovery Channel as potential outside partners. Once we're confirmed with that, we want to decide on our best multimedia products, then do some outreach. Okay, and then we always ask, is our outreach working? What is the feedback that we're getting? And if that feedback is good, is it really working? We'll go forward and we'll improve and innovate our outreach, and we'll focus our thoughts on these 3 things: global economics, tribalism, and the cognitive sciences behind how people behave. If not, we'll collect that feedback and we put that together so we can do some follow-up work. but all that we do, we will work to improve what we do as a communications group. Personal reflections and connections. I really believe that my worldview allows me to interpret and see the world through several sets of lenses. The spirituality that defines who I am, which incorporates morality and science. The idea of human survival is really important to me because I understand that's the core motivation of most people. The ideas behind tribalism and the access to economic resources, knowledge and skills for economic development, which is connected to access to those resources. So once you have those resources, you need to know how to develop them. And then having a vision of a future that includes the common good. Those lenses help me understand our move towards the quest for equity. This is my visual representation of what I understand to be intersectionality for our group and for me personally. I know Professor Yvonne Crenshaw had her intersectionality developed originally from her work as an intellectual and a practitioner in the profession of law. But I've taken that and reimagined it as what would it look like for me and our team as we move forward on the quest for equity. And so this is a visualization of what that looks like, and I would just ask our audience to spend some time thinking about it. It covers everything that we've talked about before: spirituality and need for survival, tribalism, economic resources, access to those resources, economic development activity, and a future vision for common good. All of those things intersect with our quest for equity. Concluding, what we want to share with you is this just great thank you to Professor Hintz for sharing your wealth and knowledge and experience in this course. It's really helped me craft a vision for a personal future dedicated to assisting others in very small ways, in all the small ways that we can. Thank you very much.